Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I will continue my introduction of probability. So in previous videos, we already talked about what is experiment, what is events, how to define probability, and how to play with the rules of science, and also how to compute the probability based on this computation of size. In this video, I will talk about one more important terminology, is random variable. So let me first give the definition of random variable. In fact, random variable is a function, and this function is mapping from a outcome in our sample space to a real number. And then in general, we denote this function or random variable by a capital letter. This is like capital X or Y or Z. And then the value of this random variable is denoted by small letter, as small x or y. And then similar with the function is continuous or not. So here for the random variable, we have a two type of them. The first one is discrete random variable. So this one, actually you can think this is corresponding to the discrete sample space. So that means if we have a finite or like something can list, right? So we can list the outcomes in a sample space. This is a discrete sample space. So the discrete random variable is based on this type of sample space. So in other words, it means this random variable will have a finite or countable or infinity range. And so for the continuous random variable, of course, this is corresponding to the continuous sample space. So then this means this random variable will have a interval as its range. So this interval can be finite. So for example, greater than 1 and smaller than 3. This is a finite interval. And this can also be an infinity interval. For example, it's larger than 6. So it means it's from 6 until positive infinity. So this is an infinity interval. But anyway, this is an interval for the range. So we call this as a continuous random variable. So here, let me give you one example of a finite random variable. So let's look at this question. So this is if we will roll a die and we assume this capital X is our random variable. And this is denotes the number I will get. So then the question is write down all of the possible value of our random variable X and also its corresponding probability. So here, if you assume this die is a fire die, so that means the number we will get is just equally likely event. Then by this one, the first thing is what's the possible value of our X. So this one, of course, is a discrete random variable, right? Because the number here, value, we of course can list it out. So this is a discrete random variable. And the value of this random variable is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a possible value we can get. And then the question also asks us what is the corresponding probability. So this is how we can write this. So this is, we write this as probability capital X equal its value. So here it means when it's equal 0, then that means we will get when it's 1, so it means we will get a number 1. So because this die is a fire one, so that means this is 1 over 6. So this means the probability this random variable is equal 1 is 1/6. And similarly, we can have the others. So it's like the probability X equal 2 or because this is an equally likely event. So actually for here, for all of the others, we can all have them equal each other, and all of them is equal 1/6. Okay, so this is an example of a discrete random variable. And then if you think about what is a continuous random variable, then that means we need to find a experiment which will give us a continuous sample space. So then we can think about what the continuous sample space we talk about. For example, we can talk about like the height of a tree, and then it can be a continuous number. It can be 1 meter, 1.1, or even any number like larger than 0, right? When we talk this in our first first videos. And then we can also think about like the price of the stock. So because we said although for the when we pay the price, it only can be like some dollars, some cents, but although this is like 1.05, like $1.05, so although it looks like a discrete number, however, if we talk about a range between $1 until $100, and if we list all of this number between them out, it will be a too long or huge sample space. So in general, we will also treat this as a continuous sample space. So then by the random variable, if we assume this random variable is the price of one stock, then this will also become a continuous random variable. So here I want to just clarify, like the random variable is a continuous or not. You need to make sure you understand two things. The first thing is what is our experiment. So the experiment will give us a continuous sample space or not. And then the second is what's the definition of our random variable. So for example here, if our definition is the price of one stock, then this will become a continuous. However, if we design these experiments a little different, so for example, we now play a game. If the price of like Apple stock, or maybe one stock, if the price of the stock will larger or higher than $100 at tomorrow noon, then I will pay $100. However, if it's less than $100 at tomorrow noon, then you pay me $100. So now the experiment is still about the price of one stock. However, because now what we interested was the design of this experiment is different. Now we only have two results. One is I get $100, the other is I lose $100. So here, if we design our random variable become how much money I will get at tomorrow noon at the end of this game, this will become a discrete random variable because it only have two possible values. One is positive $100, the other is a negative $100. So that means when you talk about a random variable, you need to care about these two things. One thing is what is the experiment, and the second is what is our definition of this random variable. So this is what I want to clarify here, and you should be very careful about this if you apply any knowledge of probability in your major. So this is the end of this videos, and in the next videos we will move to some more topics in the probability. We will start talk about what is a distribution of a probability and how we can use a function to help us write or describe this distribution of a probability. So please subscribe this channel and hope I can see you in the next video.